Hi guys, my name is Anaconda and today we have a great game between Lavrinenko and Mikhail Tal playing in Riga in 1950. Lavrinenko had white pieces and he started with e4, c5 from Mikhail Tal, Sicilian, knight to f3, knight to c6, d4, c takes d, knight takes d4, knight to f6, knight to c3, d6, bishop to e2, e5, attack that knight, so he moved to b3, bishop to e7, castle kingside, also Tal castle kingside, and king to h1, bishop to e6, f4, e takes f4, bishop takes f4, rook to c8, knight to d4, and we have queen to b6 from Tal. Slightly better move is simply to take this knight with the knight, but we have queen to d4 and Lavrinenko play knight takes knight. Also small mistake, the better move in this position is simply knight takes knight, and after f takes, bishop to c4, and white is slightly better, but we have knight takes c6, b takes c6, and d3 from Lavrinenko. In this position the material on the board and is equal. Next Tal move was rook to d from f to d8. In this position, why Tal didn't capture this pawn? If he dare to capture this pawn, he will lose because that was opposing pawn. He will lose after this. Rook to b1, queen to a3, and now knight to d5 with a discover attack on the queen. So what can Tal do in this position? The best move is simply to capture this queen, and after this in between move, knight takes e2 check. After king moves, he grabbed the queen and the white side is so much ahead. So that's why in this position Tal didn't capture this poison pawn. Tal plays simply rook to d8, b3 from Lavrinenko, knight to d7, knight to a4 attacking the queen, so he moved to a5, again attacking the queen, and queen retreats to c7. White play queen to g3 with idea to put his next move, put his bishop and on the h6 and get pressure on the center. So Tal prevent that with f6, rook from a to d1, bishop to e5, attack that white queen, so he retreat to f2, knight to f6, and we have a queen to h4 from Lavrinenko, c5 from Tal, c4, and queen to c6. Better move in this position is queen to e7, sorry, but we have queen to c6 and bishop to f3. Mistake by Lavrinenko. In this position, look what is this bishop do. This bishop is covering this pawn, and when he played this move bishop to f3, he removed the defender of this pawn and Tal immediately captured this pawn. So if he recapture with this pawn, he lose his knight, and also he had now 3 pawn islands, and this is so hard to defend. So after this move, bishop to f3, Tal took that pawn and he removed that rook from this square. He didn't capture. He didn't like this variation. Bishop to e6, knight to c3 from Lavrinenko, knight to d7 from Tal. The better is simply queen to a6, attack this pawn, but we have knight to d7, knight to d5, he capture with a bishop, e takes d, and queen to a6. Black side is slightly better. Bishop to e4, attacking that h7 pawn, threatening some nasty stuffs, and he defend with knight to a7. In this position, maybe the best move was g6, but he played knight to f8. Rook to e3 and bishop to f6. Better is simply queen takes a2, free pawn, but he played f6, attacking this queen. So queen goes to g4, c4 from Tal. Again, better move was collect this free pawn, but he plays c4. Rook to f3 with the idea to capture this bishop, and you can recapture because this is discover check on your king. So Tal prevent that with knight to g6, and he captured this bishop anyway. Recapture with a g, and queen to f5. Better in this position maybe was simply to play bishop to c3, but instead of that we have queen to f5 and c takes b3. If he play now queen takes a2, he will lose after this continuation. Queen take f6, and you must capture this, and if you play example queen to d3, you will lose after this continuation. Simply like you can prevent that mate on this square. So that's why Tal captured this pawn with c pawn, and we have bishop to h6, threatening the next move to capture and deliver the mate. But Tal play queen to c4, h4 from Lavrinenko. This was a blunder. The best move in this position is a takes b3, and after queen takes b3, rook to f1. And black side is better, but he maybe have chance to equal the game later on. But when he play h5, Tal replies with rook to e8, and Lavrinenko play rook to c1. What happened if Tal took this bishop with the queen? If Tal took this bishop with the queen, then he will lose the game because of this continuation. Rook takes c8, and again he had two choices. If he capture queen, he lose immediately, like this. And in this position, if he took this rook, he lose like this. So the best in this position after rook takes c8, the best for Tal is simply perpetually, he has perpetual check, and this is only way to save this game. That's why in this position you don't capture this bishop. When Lavrinenko played that c1, he think that Tal would took this bishop, but Tal didn't took this bishop. Tal go for this variation. He simply took this rook. He exchanged. He sacrificed that queen for a win. So after bishop takes, queen, rook takes, bishop check, king go to h2, b takes a2, and in this position Lavrinenko saw that there is nothing he can do in this position. Next Tal move is simply a1 queening and game is over. So that's why in after 38 moves Lavrinenko resigned the game. What do you think about this game? If you find this game interesting, like the video, subscribe the channel and put your comments below. Have a nice day, see you next time, peace.